Welcome to the Back on Track Achieving Healthy Weight Loss podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alicia Shelley. Now, I don't know about you, but it is so easy to get overwhelmed during the holiday season. Whether it's the Christmas parties, family and friends coming to visit, or just planning the holiday dinner, it can be a lot. And many years, I have entered into the new year being so tired and worn out because I did not take time for myself. And so this year, I have learned, take time for yourself. And so it is so important that we prioritize self-care in our daily walks, especially during the busy holiday season. Self-care is more than just getting your nails done. It can actually enhance not only your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. But let's start off with, why does self-care even matter? When we look at the holiday season, there are so many challenges. There are so many areas where we can get stressed. Some of them stressors can be financial pressure, like paying for everybody wants gifts. So trying to give a gift to people, what if you have family members who for some reason want to spend $300 on some shoes? It can be a lot, and it can add up where you're spending, more money than you had even planned for during the holiday season. Also, our schedules are busy. People want to have end of the year dinners. They want to have parties, they want to get together. And so sometimes you just feel exhausted going. Family dynamics. If you're having family that are coming over for the Christmas meal, or, family that are coming in to stay with you for a few days during the holidays, it can be stressful. And some people, and everyone has their own personality that can make the experience worse or make it better, we all have those family members where we're like, oh, they're coming, So it's important to know that the family dynamics plays a role, and not to mention work stressors, right? People going on vacation. And so if they're going on vacation, the work still has to get done. So if you're there, that work is getting piled onto you. So it can be quite stressful, especially when there's not enough people to man what's going on. Also, too, during this time, if you've had loved ones who have passed away, you start to remember these loved ones, and that can be another added stress and grief that you may be going through as well. And all of these stressors can impact our health, can cause us to be more stressed out, can increase our cortisol level, make it more difficult for us to lose weight because we're stressing, and then possibly even stress eating. So it is important to make sure that we incorporate the self-care so that we can combat the stressors. Because a good friend of mine always reminds me, I can't change the things around me. I can't change what other people do. I can't change what they think. But the only thing I can do is choose how I respond to them. And so one of our responses should be some self-care and setting boundaries so that we can be able to combat what may be going along. So what are some benefits of self-care? Well, when you prioritize self-care, it can help reduce your stress. It can improve your mood. You have a better ability to enjoy the holiday moments, and maintain your energy. I was even this past week, I was going into work and I'm like, man, why am I so stressed out? I'm running, going to see patients, running. And I'm like, man, I am really stressed out. Why is it? And I realized well, unfortunately you're getting to work later. So everything gets piled back. So you're just running. You don't have time to, relax and see patients without rushing. And so I made some changes. I decided to get to work a lot earlier so that I had time to just decompress before I saw my first patient, turn on the computer, sit down, take a deep breath. And the funny thing is that it actually helped. I was like, man, I'm usually running, and now I feel better. I'm not as stressed out. It made a difference just having that extra time so that I could be able to take a deep breath, get centered, and then start work. Also, so let's talk about some strategies that we can use to help with self-care. Now, when we think of physical self-care, I know we always think about staying physically active, and we can stay active with like fun holiday themes, like going ice skating or going on family walks or, doing something fun, seeing the lights, but we're walking through the lights together. So definitely ways to find to stay active are going to be important. Prioritizing sleep is so important. So important. This is the area where I will admit I'm still working on because it'll be 11 o'clock and I'm like, I know I need to go to bed, but I got to finish this one thing. So it's important that we make sure we get our 7 to 8 hours of sleep, because if we get our 7 to 8 hours of sleep, we wake up rested. We wake up ready to hit the ground running. And then on top of that, we're able to, we're not grouchy. We're not, trying to take naps or trying to eat to stay awake or drink caffeine to stay awake. So it's important that we prioritize our sleep. Also, making sure you nourish your body, eating foods that are balanced, that have your fruits, your vegetables, your proteins, because sometimes when we're eating fast food or high processed foods or foods that are fried, it can make us actually more sluggish because it's not giving us the best nutrients that we should have. And then I would be remiss if I did not mention this. It's important to drink more water. Drink more water and make sure that we're hydrating properly, so that number one, because with drinking more water, it helps with not only us going to the restroom, but being more regular as well. So, and then on top of that, we are giving the body what it needs. So definitely drinking more water. Now, when we think of mental and emotional self-care, it's important that we set boundaries that protects our time and our energy. Okay. Now, it's important that you set these boundaries because other people aren't going to set the boundaries for you. And people will only treat you the way you allow them to treat you. So if you have a family member who just gets on your nerves, well, guess what? If she's coming to that family holiday dinner, you can say Merry Christmas, but you do not have to entertain her. You can excuse yourself to something else. I had a friend tell me that she went to this networking event and there was this couple who were like following her, and they just want her cup of tea. So she would talk to them for a few seconds. Be like, oh, excuse me. And then she would go to a different group and talk to them. And then that couple would follow her. And then she'd be like, oh, excuse me. Go to another place. So what I'm trying to say is you choose how you're going to react to that family member, that friend who stresses you out, and you set the boundaries on on your time and your energy. This next one is so important, and it is something that I'm working on. So full disclosure, saying no. So I had one lady tell me that no is a full sentence. No. So when people ask you to do something, oh no, I'm so sorry, I can't do it. And just so you know, you don't have to give them an excuse. You just be like, nope, I can't do it. And it's okay to say no. Why? Because we're setting boundaries. We need to have more emotional, mental self-care time for ourselves so that we can enjoy the holidays without feeling stressed out and burnt out as well. So it's important that we have those boundaries. We say no. And then next, important to practice gratitude, writing things down in our journal, sharing what we're thankful for, sharing what we've done and what we're doing to improve ourselves. So it's important to have that practice that gratitude by writing it down. And I have to admit, I am not a journaler myself, but when I start doing it, it does help me to be more aware of the things that are happening around me and why I'm so thankful. Because sometimes you get so busy, you forget. So it's important to share what you've been thankful for. Also, take breaks to recharge and schedule time for yourselves amidst the holiday gatherings. Like, do we all really have to meet up at 12 for dinner? Couldn't we, push it back to 2 or 3, and then you have more time to prepare, more time to kind of maybe wake up a little bit later and get things going versus waking up at 5 o'clock and just cooking and slaving the whole day. So finding ways to take breaks to recharge and schedule time for yourself. For a long time in my first practice, my boss, he would go away for Christmas and, go see his family, and I would be working. And for years, I changed jobs. I would be working. And I realized there's enough people in this practice that I don't have to work the entire Christmas because I'm not taking time off, which during this time I need to, because when it comes to the New Year's, I would feel so burnt out. I'd be like, oh, And it's New Year's, it's a new year, and I have a bad attitude because I did not take time for myself. And so this year I'm taking some time off, I'm recharging so that come January, I'm hitting it full speed, I'm ready to go. Because in my line of work, everybody gets new insurances in January. And so people are wanting to come to the doctor. So you're just busy and seeing people. And then also we're busy during, it seems, these last 2 weeks too. But needless to say, it's just a busy time. So sometimes you need to make sure you have those breaks so that you can schedule that time for yourself. Also important to have social and relational self-care where you're spending time with people who uplift you, people who feed into your spirit, who make you laugh, who make you feel positive, and limit the interactions with individuals who drain your energy. And you know people who are like that. You talk to them, you're like, man, I feel worse than I did, talk to this person. So make sure you limit those interactions with people who drain your energy and spend time with people who uplift you. Also, make sure you communicate your needs with your family and friends. If you need some time off to recharge, let them know. Say, hey, listen, I know we're supposed to do Christmas dinner at my house, but, for my own mental health, I can't do it. So let's go out to, or hey, instead of, me cooking everything, maybe, we can, potluck this out. You cook that, and we all come together and enjoy each other's company. So make sure you communicate what you need because people, it's always funny because people expect other people to know what they need, but people aren't looking like that. You're so engrossed in what's going on in your life. Sometimes you can't look and see what is needed for somebody else. So it's important that you communicate what you need so they can be there for you. Also, it's important, when we think of creative self-care ideas for the holidays, you can do things like create a self-care gift basket for yourself or even loved ones. You could set up a holiday relaxation corner at your home with candles, books, or music. I thought it was kind of funny. I was at the car dealership the other day getting my oil changed, and I walked into the customer service guy's office, and he literally had aromatherapy going up. He had this like Zen music, and I was like, wow. I mean, it may be crazy, people running around, but at least in your office, you have your own Zen moment in places where you can relax even though you are still working. So it is important to have that, area where it's your relaxation corner, I know if you have small kids, they seem to find you wherever you are, but just say you're in timeout. Mommy's in timeout, so don't come back in about an hour. That may be hard in about an hour, but at least give them 10 minutes, Also important to engage in mindfulness, meditation, prayer, but you can, make it a festive twist. Visualize a peaceful winter scene, go skiing, I actually always enjoy the beach, but regardless, finding ways where you can visualize something, but making it more festive. And last but not least, it's so important to try something new. The ideas or practical strategies I mentioned before may not be your cup of tea, and that's okay, but find something that works for you and be open to trying something new. You may be surprised that you're like, hey, I do like doing this. Who knew journaling could be so fun? But you just got to try something new. So try to get out of your box and try something new, because sometimes we get so closed-minded that we don't try, and you just never know if you would have enjoyed it. So in conclusion, it is so important to implement, prioritize self-care during the holidays, because guess what? Before you know it, we'll be in the new year. We will blink and these 2 weeks will be over. and then we're now hitting the grind, and because you didn't take a break or you didn't have that self-care during the end of December, now you are just burnt out for all of January. So make sure that you focus on incorporating and prioritize self-care. And then also, make sure that you are spending time with your family and enjoying these holiday moments and maintaining your energy instead of stressing out. I remember a good friend told me that you cannot choose how people react to you or what they think about you, but you can choose how you respond to them. So if you have a family member that gets on your nerves, you can decide how you're going to react. If you're feeling overwhelmed with cooking, you could change things up, but just know that you decide how you're going to respond. I hope that you can pick 1 or 2 self-care practices to try this week during the holiday and make sure you take time out for yourself. Feel free to tag me at Dr. Shelley MD. I love to hear what your self-care plans are. I think for me, I'm just going to sit and watch a holiday movie. Like, I'm just going to enjoy myself for the hour, 1 to 2 hours, and just relax, because guess what? I'm always there's always something to do, and there's always going to be something on the to-do list, but you have to make sure you take time out for yourself. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Back on Track Achieving Healthy Weight Loss podcast. If you like this episode, please feel free to share it with others. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. And we will see you all next time.